What's up, y'all? One of my subscribers recently said that what if you had to give up one person on the defensive line for somebody on the offensive line? And I was like, that's a very difficult decision to make, like, because you don't want to get rid of any of them because I think they all do great. And the only person we kind of didn't have production from was Chase Young last year, and that was only because he was injured. And just him but not being there, we still did great as a defense. But imagine if he was there, because just the people that we had in his spot, the few backups that we had play for him, I think they were only able to like average out like 8 sacks altogether as a total, like altogether, like just all of them. And when you think about it, it's like, yo, like Chase Young could have gave us that probably more. And I believe he could have. But, because of his ACL tear, he hasn't been able to play. And, that's leading people to think that he doesn't have it anymore, or we should get rid of him. And I think that's totally false. I think, like, Chase Young is really going to go off. And I think, all the time that he's had away has really allowed him to get back to himself. And he said it himself that from last year, playing at the end of last year and this year, he feels totally different. He feels way much better. And you can tell in practice, even Ron Rivera has noticed it. And I just feel like for the production that we got last year with a whole bunch of DNs trying to play at his position, I would rather have Chase Young. So I wouldn't want to get rid of anybody on the D-line. I would want everybody to stay. What I would want to focus on is just the O-line. And I wouldn't get rid of anybody on D-line. I think that this year we really got everything we needed out of Eric Bieniemy because he allowed us to be accountable and have structure. And I think that's all we needed. That's really all we needed. Because you think about it, even bad players can be good players with a good coach. You see what I'm saying? Like the coach for the Lions, you know what I'm saying? Just think about how they played in the beginning of the year. And, that was his first year with them. But just think about how every week he developed a new scheme, a new mechanism to, really bring the team together. And they started to believe in him and his vision. And you see, at the end of the year, they almost made it to the playoffs. So I feel like Eric Bieniemy is really what's putting us together to be a great defense and a great offense. You know what I'm saying? A great total team. You know what I'm saying? We're coming together and being a team. You know what I'm saying? Versus, everything was, I don't feel like we just didn't have that structure that we needed. And, Eric being here is perfect. And, also we got the two defensive ends that, took over for Chase Young last season. They're playing behind Chase Young and Montez Sweat. And then we also got the two defensive ends that came in from the draft. And one of those being KJ Henry. And, who knows? KJ Henry didn't really do a phenomenal job in college. Like, it wasn't like it didn't blow your socks off or nothing like that. But it was decent, you know what I'm saying? And, he might, and in the combine, he didn't do that great. He was average. And, he might be like Terrell Suggs. You never know. He might do terrible in the combine and then come out and really go off this season. But I don't think like this season will really be his season to go off. More so because we got Montez Sweat and then we got Chase Young right there, and then we got the two who filled in for Chase Young last season as backups. So I don't feel like there's any room for him to really go off this season. But next season it might be. But I still feel like, unless, God forbid, that anybody on the D-line get injured, we won't have to move people around and stuff like that. So that would be the only way KJ Henry gets that time to really go off. But, I feel like what we have on defense, I would want to keep, because all we needed was structure. And now that we got it, we're going to be great. And just hopefully that everybody can stay healthy on the D-line. We're going to go off this season. And we were great without him, you know what I'm saying? So imagine if we got him now, you know what I'm saying? And you think about what Chase Young did before he left, and then what he did in his rookie year, and you put that all together, and you like, wow, like he's really a beast. Like first season, just going off, just rookie of the year, and just everything he did in that 1 year alone that's his first year. Just think about how much he still doesn't know, and think about what he knows now. Different cuts, different movements, different placements. Of course, his injury is going to be in his mind, even though he says he's getting better and he's getting more confidence in himself, but that's going to play a big toll on him as he plays. But I still feel like he's going to do better than what he did, in his rookie season and his second season. But like I said before, as long as he does better than the tackles, he's straight. As long as he does better than Jonathan Allen or Deron Payne, he's straight. And if he does even better than Montez Sweat, just imagine how much we're paying him. So I think this is gonna be a great year for Chase. It's all on him, honestly, and how he's feeling. But this is a great spot to be in because they declined his 5th-year option. So just think about it, like he can get to the money even faster instead of waiting for another year. So, and then sometimes you play good, and then sometimes teams think that's all you got, so they decide to trade you, or they think that you just put them at a great spot to trade you. So he's gonna do great, and it's just all on him and how he feels in his injury. And I think our D line is we great at stopping the run. So just imagine what we can do now, and we can create more turnovers on the defensive line. That's going to allow I think offenses is going to be scared when they play us because they're going to try to probably pass more, and so that's going to create more turnovers for our defense. I mean our secondary. That's going to allow them some more space to create turnovers. So that's something good to think about, because if we can shut down the run, and we also have ball hawks on our defense, with Emmanuel Forbes and Quan Martin on the backfield, and even Cameron Curl and Derek Forrest, they're beasts. Like, so just imagine if they all, and especially Benjamin St. Juste and Kendall Fuller, I think our defense is just phenomenal. It's like a Madden team right now. And, I think not too many people see it, but just think about, and then, somebody commented and said that, Martin is going to get more. He's going to be more durable, and he's going to play more games than Emmanuel Forbes. And I was like, the only way I see that happening is if, Emmanuel Forbes gets injured or, gets tired or something. So the only way I see that happening is if Martin is playing, backup. That's the only way I see that happening. If Martin is a backup, of course he's going to play more games and he's going to be more durable. But, that's what's going to happen if, you're not in the game playing so many downs a game. You're going to be more explosive, You're going to be ready to go when it's time. So I can see that happening. And that was my boy Santana Jackson. And the one who asked the first question was Rocket Man 7887. And, Santana also made me think about the fact that if Martin is not playing as often, if he's only used as backup, think about how much he could be used and how much of a weapon he is, especially when our defense is tired out and we're tiring out their offense, and we need him to come fill in. And he can fill in right now. It seems like he only can fill in the slot position because that's all he knows right now. He's still trying to get familiar with the secondary. So he's still trying to get familiar with playing in the safety position. So it's going to be a little bit more time, probably mid-season, before he gets comfortable with that. But right now, if he comes in and he plays that slot when, whoever is playing in that, who's starting in that slot position is tired, just imagine what he can do. And think about it. It's close to halftime, and people are tired. He comes in, interception. He comes in, forced fumble. He comes in, pass deflection. He probably have a whole shutdown. Like, he have a whole three what'd you call them thing? 3 quarters. He shut down 3 quarters by himself. He could do that, you know what I'm saying? Just because he's allowed himself to rest. And I don't look at his position if he doesn't start as a bad thing. I see it as doing more good for us because we have so many people we can start, And then, we have even backups that are great, like Jeremy Reeves. And just think about that. Like, we have backups that are good and that could do the same amount that, or close to what our starters can do. And I think that's just phenomenal. And it just seemed like we don't have too many weaknesses. And I'm just excited for this year. And it's crazy. I can't stop saying it, but Eric Bieniemy is everything to this team. And he came at the right time, I feel like Ron Rivera was probably on his way out. And he showed up at the right time. And I'm just glad Ron Rivera believes in him. Because within OTAs and minicamp, he's already taken his team to a whole nother level. Like, it's a lot of Redskins, my bad. It's a lot of Commander fans that I didn't even know was Commander fans. Like, I see it everywhere, you know what I'm saying? I never seen this back in the day. Like, growing up, I never seen this many Commander fans. I thought it was just my father and me. Like, that's it. But now I see everybody. Everybody, he inspired a whole city. A whole city, bruh. Like, a whole state. Put it that way. Let's say that he inspired a whole lot of people to really want to be a Commander fan. Back in the day, we used to be embarrassed. Like, most people would root for them as soon as they win a game. But now it's like, it's the offseason, and we got so much to look forward to. And they also, like, with them playing against the Ravens in the practice in the offseason, and they get to practice with them, I think that's just only going to make us better. And I'm going to keep saying it. And I know y'all tired of me saying it, but everything is just working out so perfectly. Because not only do we get to see them, practice against the Ravens and really sharpen their skills for this season, we also, hopefully, we can get to see them in Hard Knocks, because I'm trying to see that. I'm really trying to see it. And, I think he just really just came in and just took this team under his wing, and it's his team. And I don't know why I don't hear too many. I hear a lot of people saying it, but I need to hear people keep saying it. Eric Bieniemy, bro. Like, he is a beast already. And that's somebody you need. You need that type of person on your team. And just imagine, he was on the Chiefs, so he has so much to offer to us. And I'm just excited to see what else he can do for us. And this is going to be a totally different team in week 1. And, of course, he doesn't have all his hands in the defense, but just his presence alone, it wakes you up. It keeps you going. It keeps you motivated, and it keeps you on your toes. Because not only the offense is worried about, starting or being that starter, everybody is worried about their position, because they don't know if their position will be their position. Like, people think, it's just Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett that's, flip-floppy with the starting position. No, it's everybody. Everybody don't know if they're going to be a starter. Like, Antonio Gibson, for example. Like, who else? Who else could be on the chop block? Like, it could be It could be Chase Young, Chase Young could be on the chop block. It's a lot of people. Like, it's literally everybody's on their toes. Like, I can't really name all of them, but when you think about it, and even some players have come out and said it, that, and I've seen a few reports come out about just the fact, the way they feel like, it feel like their job might be in jeopardy at almost everybody. And think about how you play when think about how you do at your regular job. If you think your job is in jeopardy, you're going to be doing everything you possibly can because you need this job. And that's the same way all those players are doing on the field. You know what I'm saying? That's what they get. That's the mindset that they have to be in when they're playing, because they don't know what Eric has in plan or has in store. They don't know what Ron Rivera is doing. And Ron Rivera is, honestly, I feel like he's listening a lot more. Like, he's taking whatever Eric Bieniemy has to say and he's using it. And it seems like Eric is pulling the strings over there and doing whatever he feels like doing. And who knows, he might even pull the strings and get Kareem Hunt. I keep seeing reports about it, but I don't think we need him. But it might happen. And look, am I mad? No, not at all, because they're not paying me. But Eric Bieniemy has done so much. He's done so much in this little bit of time that if Kareem Hunt ends up on his team, that means he's going to do something great with this team. I'm going to tell you that now. Eric Bieniemy has a great plan for this team. If Kareem Hunt ends up on his team, 1, Eric Bieniemy is the head coach. 2, we going to the playoffs. I'm just telling you that now, because for some reason, if that means he has something in his head that's telling him this is a good look, if it happens, my man's, I don't know what to tell you, but I don't even know what to say, because it's just like, that means something. It's hard to think about right now. But if he gets Kareem Hunt, even though we don't need him, just think about it. Think about how many threats we already have on the defense and on the offense. Like, we set. We don't need him. But would I say no if we have the money to get him and he's willing to be on the team? No, I wouldn't. And that's going to only push everybody on that running back group to be even better. And everybody going to be on their P's and Q's, because nobody wants to be a backup. But yeah, like I said, though, I'm not getting rid of nobody on my D-line. And, next season we might be getting somebody on the O-line, in the draft, or we might be hopefully not trading anybody, but we might be trading somebody next season. But it all depends on how everybody performs. And everybody's going to be looking at Sam Howell this season and Chase Young. And that's the most prominent person on the defense that we all want to see production from. And, we all look forward to what he can do. And, also, we also want to see what Terry going to do.